There is a big philosophical discussion. If there can be a perfect good, can there be a perfect bad? And in order to even think about this, you have to think of the primary text for this is probably the Plato dialogue, the Parmenides. In the Parmenides, Parmenides asks Socrates whether or not the perfect bad exists. Now, the language he uses is quite interesting because the word he uses for bad is effectively the Greek word for poo. So he is the Gillian mcKeith of the 4th century. Is it possible to have a perfect poo, an absolute shit? Well, I think the answer is yes. I think the answer is yes. And I am fully aware that Western philosophy and theology is dominated by the Augustinian idea and the Aquinas idea, he picks it up, of the privatio boni, that evil is the absence of good. But I think there is also a perfect shit. And that I was cautious about saying this earlier, but I am now going to, I have already said it and I will repeat it. That is now to be embodied in the identity of Patriarch Kirill and President Putin. These two share that honour. And the stink, of course. I think it is extraordinary. It is extraordinary that when calling for a ceasefire, President Putin actually arranges for the bombing of cities in Ukraine. There is no excuse for this evil, none at all. In the same way as there is no excuse for evil itself. Evil cannot be explained away. You get to a point where there's such an absence of good that there is a tangible presence of evil. Now, can we retreat from this? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. But, yeah, Putin is a perfect poop. And he is aided in this flatulent endeavour by the Patriarch of Moscow, Kirill. These two together are straining to divest the world of goodness. And it's demonstrable in the way they have used religion as a weapon to attack another country. Is President Zelensky gullible? Thankfully not. Thankfully not. But this, the shadow of this behaviour will, I'm afraid, streak across orthodoxy. It's now time to call on the Russian Orthodox people to desert the Russian Orthodox Patriarchate, to leave the Moscow Patriarchate, because it is heretical, because it is evil, because nationalism at its source was condemned at the end of the 19th century in a conference in the Balkans. Absolutely condemned. And Kirill has absolutely embraced that heresy. And this is the result. This is the result, that he is conniving with Putin in evil. They're both covered in it.